When I was 19, I got paid to maim people. I had a summer job at one of those boutiques in the mall where you get your ears pierced for free when you buy starter earrings. This was back in the early 80s, when it was just becoming a thing for straight guys to get one ear pierced. They'd often come in with a buddy to split the cost of the starter earrings, and they always asked the same two questions. The first was, which ear means I'm not gay? And back then, early 80s, remember, the answer was left is right and right is wrong. Not that there's anything wrong with right. They were just making sure they were identifying themselves correctly. The second question was, is it gonna hurt? And answering that second question was my favorite part of the job. I love soothing nervous customers. They were about to get surgical steel spikes shot through their earlobes with a glorified staple gun. So I tried to make their experience as stress-free as possible by emanating calmness and compassion, relaxation, and reassurance. My commitment to showing compassion to vulnerable people went beyond standard ear-piercing ethics. It was personal. I wanted to treat my nervous customers better than school bullies had treated me. And the bullies started early in elementary school. I was never one of the cool kids. As a clumsy, shy, nerdy bookworm, I was a perfect target for budding bullies. They taunted me and picked me last for every game, except spelling bees. No one had my back at home either. When I was in junior high, my mother made the rather callous suggestion that if I didn't like being picked on by my peers, all I had to do was lose a few pounds. Thanks for the support, Mom. Things were a little better in high school, mainly because, for the most part, the other kids ignored me. But that changed in my senior year when fate assigned me the locker next to Vic Garçon. Vic was one of the cool kids. I guess he was considered attractive, but to me, he only ever showed his ugliness. On that first day of school, Vic fell head over heels in hate with me, and he launched into a year-long campaign of abuse. It was the polar opposite of a teenage romance. Instead of whispering sweet nothings in my ear, Vic would loudly proclaim to everyone in the hallway just what a fat, ugly, useless waste of space he thought I was. Then he'd knock my books out of my arms, just in case I missed his point. I never knew what was behind Vic's animosity. Maybe no one had his back at home, so he lashed out at the nearest weakest target, me. Vic's buddies would stand around and laugh at my misery, while I just stared at the floor at my scattered books and waited for the ordeal to be over. It was a long year. Going away to college was a fresh start for me. I chose a small school at the other end of the state. No one else from my hometown went there. I was still a clumsy, shy, nerdy bookworm, but no one picked on me. Everyone was starting fresh. That's probably why it's called freshman year. I made friends, I joined clubs, I had a social life. I finally got to be one of the cool kids. And I gained enough self-confidence to take that ear-piercing job back home over the summer. So there I was, happily practicing compassionate ear-piercing. Until the day that Vic Garçon showed up with a buddy. I tensed up at the sight of him. My newfound self-confidence vanished, and I wanted to vanish right along with it. But no one else was available to take care of them, so I braced myself for an onslaught of verbal abuse and walked over. When he saw me, Vic did something he'd never done to me before. He smiled. Hi, we're here to get our ears pierced? I was afraid that his smile would turn into the snarl I was more familiar with, but Vic was downright pleasant while he and his buddy picked out their earrings, signed their consent forms, and verified which ear meant they weren't gay. And it dawned on me why he was being so nice to me. He had no clue who I was. He didn't recognize me. Now, I looked the same as I had in high school, and I was even wearing a name tag. But Vic had never seen me as a real person anyway, so it's no surprise that he didn't know what I looked like or what my name was. Now this was good news, because it meant I'd get through the transaction unscathed. But the new and improved me knew that I'd always regret it if I let Vic get away without revealing my true identity and letting him know that he hadn't broken me. So while Vic and his buddy discussed who would go first, I discussed my options with my two advisors, Shoulder Devil and Shoulder Angel. Shoulder Devil's agenda was clear. One order of cold, sweet revenge coming right up. Shoulder Angel advocated compassion. Treat him better than he treated you. Don't be a wuss. Make him squirm. Vic went first. He was nervous. Is it gonna hurt? Yeah, she's gonna use a rusty needle and push it in real slow. No, it's quick. Your ear feels warm for a few moments, but that's it. Vic nodded. He trusted me. I swabbed his ear with an alcohol wipe, and I drew a small target on his earlobe with a surgical pen. While Vic checked the placement in a hand mirror, I reflected on all the nasty things he'd ever done to me. Shoulder Angel remained serene. Treat him better than he treated you. Shoulder Devil, foaming at the mouth. Get him. He was your target. You were his target. Now he's yours. Get him. Vic tensed up as I leaned over him, pretty much the same way I tensed up when I saw him walk into the store. I took aim at his left earlobe. His eyes squeezed shut. He was ready for the ordeal to be over. Now. Tell him now. Before Shoulder Angel could talk me out of it, I stepped back. Vic opened his eyes and looked confused. I smiled. By the way, we went to high school together. Really? I don't think I remember you. Remind me who you are? I reminded him. Scattered books and everything. What was left of the color in Vic's face drained slowly away as he realized that karma had just planted a sloppy wet kiss on his cold clammy cheek. That's right. You're about to get a hole punched in your ear by someone you treated like shit. Way to go, garçon. Outwardly, I smiled reassuringly. Inwardly, I was chest-bumping Shoulder Devil. Vic's buddy started to laugh. Whoa, dude, you are so screwed. But that brought me back down to earth. I had taken advantage of Vic's vulnerability, and now he was miserable, and his buddy was laughing at him. I had totally failed to treat him better than he treated me. Sweet victory now had a bitter aftertaste. Vic stuttered out an apology that was more self-preservation than actual remorse, but it didn't matter anymore. It's okay, Vic. I'm happy in my life now, and I hope you are too. Now hold still.